Stand-up comedy is a comic style in which a comedian performs in front of a live audience, usually speaking directly to them. The performer is commonly known as a comic, stand-up comic, comedian, comedienne, stand-up comedian, or simply a stand-up.
Right, today is the 12th of May, and a bit of a random one. As of today, Krystina starts a course up in Camden, and the course it's a comedy course. I think it's called like the School of Comedy or something like that. A lot of famous comedians have been through that or associated with it, and about 2 months ago I convinced her to go for it. I mean, she'd seen it online, but I convinced her to go for it. She needed a bit of a push. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the best thing that'll ever happen to her. But it's been an up and down process to get to today. And today at 2 o'clock, she starts this course. The course goes on for 6 weeks. It's every Sunday for the next 6 weeks. And it eventually ends, the course ends in her doing her own stand-up show. She is crazy! Oh my god, I'm so excited, but I'm also so nervous for her. So this video is all going to be about the journey that we're going to go through. So every Sunday, I'm going to do a little bit of filming, and I'm going to update you on what happened last Sunday and what she's got coming up. So that's the plan of this video, and hopefully this video ends with Krystina performing and standing on stage and doing her own stand-up. Honestly, I'm so proud of her. Everything that she's been through recently, the personal issues. This time 6 months ago, she was in a mental institution. She has basically been admitted to a psychiatric facility. Her confidence was at an all-time low. Last week she lost her granddad. Her emotions, she's been up and down, and if she gets through this course and she manages to walk on that stage at the end and perform, for one, she's going to love it, and for two, I'll be so proud. I mean, I'll be proud anyway, just for going on it, because it is so far out of her comfort zone. It's going to be a bit of a journey for her. So yeah, that is the situation. I've heard some of Krystina's comedy. It's absolutely hilarious. Some of the things she comes out with, how quick-witted she is and stuff like that. She will be amazing. I'm excited to see what the next 6 weeks brings. So let's wait and see. That's all I've got to say about it today. See you next week. Welcome to the following week. Okay, so Krystina has completed her first week on her comedy school course. The update I've got for you is it went amazingly. She smashed it. It started off with trouble. She was late. The train was cancelled, or the train was late, and she got there 15-20 minutes late, which only added to her anxiety. But she got there and she smashed it. Everyone loved her. She was voted like the funniest person or the most out there person, which obviously filled her with like massive amounts of confidence. To be honest with you, I just don't know how she's doing it. I'm so happy, I'm so proud of her. She's got a little pamphlet with her homework in and the agenda of what's happened over the next couple of weeks, etc. Her homework for this week is to go home and write 4 minutes worth of material about a time or an embarrassing moment that's happened to you where you were the butt of the joke, and she's got to put together basically some material for her to stand up in front of the group, which is 15 people, and kind of perform it. And that's her homework. I've said it so many times, this will be the best thing that she's ever done. It's going to be the best thing for her confidence. I can't wait to get to the end. Oh yeah, I haven't even told you. She's now found out that the end performance, the performance she's got to do at the end of the course, she's got to do a show in front of 200 people. 200 people. We thought it was going to be in front of about 15-20 people. 200. And there's members of the public that are coming along to it as well. That is scary. I couldn't do it. I don't know how she's going to do it, but I have faith in her. I know she's going to do it. Anyway, that's all I've got to say about this week's little update. And I'll see you again next week to let you know how her little performance goes, how her little embarrassing story goes, So I'll fill you in next week. I'm going to be going up to Camden with her. I think there's a show afterwards, but yeah, anyway, I will see you next week. It is another week. So, back in the last week I told you Krystina's homework was to put together a little story, a bit of material about a time or an embarrassing moment that's happened to you where you were the butt of the joke. She found it quite difficult to begin with. She couldn't write anything, and then she kind of had a bit of a... She kind of knocked the barriers down and started writing. She wrote 3 pages of material and then got writer's block. Being the procrastinator that Krystina is, she was writing the last part of the story on the train up there to the course. What is she like? It's typical Krystina. But she wrote it, she performed it, it went really well, and I'll put on the screen now some of the comments and the feedback that people gave her. So as you can see, she went around the room and wrote all this down. Engaging, fun, brave, chatty, fun again, common, friendly, scatty, creative, eccentric, individual, unique, stroke odd, bubbly, fun, ditzy, down to earth, quirky, distinctive, and larger than life. I mean, there's not one thing there, maybe common, but there's not one thing there that's negative. It's all really, really positive feedback, and she done really well. I went up there with her to Camden. I was off that Sunday, so we went up there. We met Krystina's sister and her boyfriend. We went for lunch, and then we left Krystina to go to her course. And then after that, we had some stand-up to go and watch that was performed by somebody that Krystina has followed for years on Twitter. He was there, he'd done a little performance specifically for us, and it was really, it was amazing. And then it was like some of the older students were performing as well, but we had to leave early because the cats were on their own for like 10 hours, so we had to come home early. But the whole situation and the whole day was really positive. I mean, it's all going really well. Too well. Homework for this week, she's got to again kind of write some material, come up with some stories, all surrounding like good and bad, like things that good things and bad things in her life or whatever, and come up with subjects and stories surrounding that. So that's our homework this week. After she's completed that, she is halfway through the course, and we are halfway towards her doing this performance in front of 200 people. I'm saying it over and over again about just how proud I am of her. So we'll see what the next week holds, and I'll see you then. Goodbye. Right, it is a new week. What have I got to fill you in on this week? We were up late last night, still writing material, bits and pieces, rehearsing and practicing. She's woken up this morning and she's not feeling well. She's not feeling great. She potentially might even have to go to the hospital. So I don't really, she's actually got into the course right now. It's just gone 2 o'clock. So she is currently in there, but I don't think she's going to be able to do her performance today. But she will get a chance to do it next week. But it's not a great update. This journey is going to be a mixture of ups and downs anyway. And yeah, hopefully this is just one of the downs. Yeah, we'll see what happens. But with a bit of luck, she'll come home feeling a bit better, and we can start looking forward to next week. But we're currently halfway through this process. Next week is week 4, then we've got week 5, and the final week 6 is just practicing for the main show. So yeah, that's basically it. So not a great update, I'm afraid. So I'll see you next week. Welcome back. It is another week. We're currently on week 4 of Krystina's comedy course life. Training. Whatever. So in last week's update, she had a bit of a wobble. She's not feeling great. And she did not do her performance this week, or during this week. was probably the toughest challenge yet. We unfortunately had to attend Krystina's granddad's funeral. It is the day of the funeral. Not going to be a good day today, guys. We got back from the funeral on Saturday and she had to then do the performance on Sunday, and I thought, look, there's no way that this is going to happen. There's no way that she's going to be able to do it. But do you know what? At the funeral, she stood up in front of roughly 200-ish people and spoke some words about her granddad at that funeral. And yes, she obviously cried and she broke down a bit, but she stood up, she done it, which I couldn't believe she did. But that then spurred her on to go for her granddad, and in her granddad's memory spurred her on the next day to go to that comedy school, stand up, put her hand up first and say, I want to go first. She got up, she did it, and it went really well. So I'm massively proud of her. That is unbelievable. I genuinely didn't think she'd be able to do it. Next week is week 5 out of 6, and week 6 is obviously the performance in front of 200 people. Still don't know at this stage whether she's even going to get up and do that. I really hope she does, but it is what it is. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, she's come a long way, and I am proud of her already, but I really do hope she does it. So this week, pretty sure what she's going to be doing this week is just literally writing material for that performance in week 6. So I've been helping her out as well. We work quite well as a team. So that is basically the update for this week. So I will see you next week for an update on Sunday, no doubt. And then following week is it. It's the performance. It's the whole, what we've all been working towards. So I will see you next week. Goodbye.
Welcome to every week. Currently on the train on my way back from Camden. This week, Krystina has wrote some amazing material. I've come up to Camden with her today, had some lunch for her to then obviously go on and do her performance for this week, which is going to be really good. It's a practice performance for next week's show. It's going to be amazing. Can't wait for it. Really looking forward to it. Yeah, I just left her at the station.
Good luck.
And she's nervous as always. She doesn't think she's done very well. She's not overly enjoying it because of the nerves, but she's writing some amazing material. And next week's performance is going to be, I'm going to be so nervous for her. It will be amazing, and I can't wait. I'm scared. I'm so scared for her. I don't know. I can't wait. I can't wait for next week to be over, just so we can, you lot can hear it, and then this journey has come to an end. But nothing really more to add for this week's update. I'll see you next week.
Here she goes. Welcome back to the final instalment of this process. It is the 16th of June, and here we are. We are on the day of the performance. Oh God. Krystina is so nervous, as you can imagine. She has spent all week rehearsing, revising. She is at the comedy club right now where she will be performing tonight for the last session, and she doesn't feel ready. She doesn't feel funny enough. She's not feeling great about it. She's not even sure whether she's going to do it. She's not even sure whether she's going to do it. I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see. So the time at the moment is 3 o'clock. We've got a couple of people coming tonight as well. In an hour's time, we're going to be meeting my boss stroke colleague, Kaylee, and also my colleague stroke friend, Jenna. We're going to be coming back here and having a couple of drinks before we head up there. The location is the Backyard Comedy Club in Bethnal Green. What I want to do, I want to kind of ask a couple of questions, like interview if you will, Kaylee and Jenna, and get their opinion and reaction on what they think is going to happen tonight, and maybe some kind of good luck messages for Krystina. So we'll see whether we can do that later on. But that's where we are right now. That's the situation. I'm probably going to film our journey up there and the whole build up to it all. Oh, I'm just so scared. I'm so nervous for her. I'll probably see you next when we're back here having a couple of drinks and getting ready. as we know, we're going up to see Krystina do her comedy course, her comedy performance. So when we first spoke about it and I was like, so Krystina is doing this, what was your initial thoughts, Kaylee?
About time. Yeah, she's a natural born storyteller. She's very funny, whether she means to be or not. She's very funny, and she's gonna do great.
Jenna?
Yeah.
What she said. So, do you have any kind of words of encouragement or special messages for Krystina, Jenna?
Krystina, you can do it. I can't wait for your performance.
Okay.
Maybe don't make eye contact with us throughout it as well.
What if she go, because she's had this fear that she's going to go on and get to like the first joke and run off. Like, what if she did that? Would you be disappointed?
No, we'll run with you.
Run with you to the bar.
To the bar.
Gin and tonics on you. No, that is her fear, but I think she'll get through it.
She will.
So, yeah.
Paid $7.50 a ticket, she better finish.
So yeah, that's all I wanted to get an insight from our friends. So yeah, we're all looking forward to it. So that is all.
You got this, you can do it. Yeah! Krystina.
But I was used to dealing with celebrities. Obviously, I've met Victoria, knew Naomi. But one of my favourite stories was I met Tom Jones once. I was hanging out at Top of the Pop Studios one day, and I was with an American lady running across the car park, Tom Jones. So she's like, "Oh my God, that's Tom Jones." So we run over. He's like, "Hello, love, where are you from?" She's like, "Oh, I'm from LA." And he goes, "Where are you from, love?" I went, "I'm from Catford." And he went, "Oh, I've not heard of that. Is it worth going?" I went, "No, shithole." Gosh. Yeah, so I'm a bit panicky and nervous, and I suffer from IBS. I've medial twins right here. Yeah, I can't wait to get off, to be fair. But I actually met my partner, who's sitting right there. I'd only been going out with him a couple of weeks, and I took him to the ice bar in Mayfair. Have any of you guys been? Way! Yeah, it's fucking freezing in there, isn't it? But yeah, I had a bit of a twinge, and I was very embarrassed, as you would be. So I'm sitting there in front of him, and I did actually shit myself. I thought, well, it's going to hamper or hinder me sitting on an ice block. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, it's nice. It literally froze up into its original state. What I wasn't expecting was the defrosting on the way home. Okay.
You were the best. I'm so proud of you. You were the best one on there. No, Krystina, everyone was laughing. Are you crazy? That everyone was laughing. The whole place was laughing. Welcome back to the absolute final instalment of this journey. As you have just seen, something amazing happened. She did it. Krystina actually somehow managed to get on stage and do her performance, and not only did she do it, it was amazing. It was so good. She remembered every single one of her jokes. She remembered all the lines. Everyone laughed. I'm not being biased. I think she was genuinely the funniest person there. Oh God, I'm so happy it's over, actually. Because the build-up, I was more nervous than she was. So So Kaylee and Jenna came up with us as well. They thought she was amazing. It was so good. It was such a good night. I was just buzzing for her when she come off stage. I think I was crying at one stage. Honestly, I was just so emotional. Like, anyway, it just goes to show that, do you know what? If you want to do something, anything is possible. If you put your mind to something, so many times throughout this process, she texted me on the day going, I don't think I can do this. And she did, you know. I mean, I'm so happy for her. So what this is now, the chain reaction to this happening, she kind of feels like she could do this again. We're talking potentially about her doing an open mic night. If that happens, that's just going to give her more confidence. So I'm so happy and I'm so excited for what the future's going to bring. If you've made it this far into the video, I really appreciate you watching this journey with us. She's yeah, amazing. Well, that's pretty much all I wanted to say now. So thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you when I see you.